Hello my friends, this episode wasn't on schedule, but it was created completely spontaneously when I supplemented the equipment of my model with the details that you will see in a moment. In this regard, forgive me that sometimes the camera was not oriented correctly. Nevertheless, I hope you will see quite well what I'm doing. I decided to put it on the one short episode so that this content wouldn't be lost in a large video. I don't know if this is a good idea, but you will judge whether it was worth bothering with it. Okay, let's get to the point. I must admit that the title of this movie is a clickbait, and if you are here, it means that I managed to interest you with my methods. I already explained what I mean. Today I will show you how to make some irregularities and use realism on the model. This can be applied to any model, regardless of nationality, German, Soviet or American vehicle, and whatever the period. It fits both World War II and modern vehicles. Partly in the previous episode I showed how to tie stowage, but today there will be something different but based on the same idea. First, a small and quick upgrade, which are short straps for attaching the tarp. They can be leather or canvas, it just depends on how we want to paint them. The most important thing is to stick them in a reasonable way and give them realistic shapes. These stripes like to curl or twist, and sometimes they just lie straight on each other. You have to remember about it when arranging them. For me the best work is on a plain paper. Could be a little thicker like the one on the label here from the Alpine figure. A bit of CA glue will certainly be helpful in laying and hardening the paper. The question is, how to make loosely thrown ties, straps or anything wider than regular string. As I mentioned, everyone has a piece of paper at home. I reused the label from the box with the Alpine figure I mentioned before. I cut off the strips about 1 mm wide with a hobby knife. I didn't try too hard to make them equal, because you won't see these little differences later anyway, and believe me, playing with perfect stripes is frustrating. And now some bindings. An ordinary knot will be an interesting solution, and even though it isn't a fancy idea, it will definitely introduce some mess on the model. Next, a bit of tangling in the stripes and we have a ready element that needs to be glued to the model. Of course, again, CA glue will be used because it works best for this task. In the meantime, I would like to mention my patrons who joined the coldemonspl team. Massive thanks guys for supporting creators like me. If you also want to be my patron, check what benefits you can have when you support coldemonspl. You can choose from 3 different levels with different degrees of involvement and profits you will get in return. The link is in the description and at the end of this video. So don't waste your time and join the team. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to leave your comments below and give a like to this video. You can also share this movie with your friends and make sure that they like and subscribe. Thank you! So, I think it looks interesting and will be a nice element on the uniform surface of the tarpaulin. The use of these blue pieces will be clarified for a moment. Now something about the string. There is always a problem with that. In general, I often see it on the models presented in public, and very often it's too thick. In the past I also put a string to my models and it was too thick, but now I know that it's better to make it from a piece of wire than to make some textile solutions. I bent 2 pins to make wire handles. I don't care about the shape. The most important thing is that the wire sticks to them well. Now the clamping problem in the Tamiya drill has been resolved. This is the first time I have used any idea from DIY movies you sometimes see on Facebook. You know, we watch them, the ideas are great, but after all the head is empty. Well, in some way I managed to apply this solution, maybe because today I watched this movie and remember it. It doesn't matter. Okay, a piece of wire. Yeah. From the old cable I took out 4 single wires. A string will be made of them. I attach one handle to the drill and the other to the cutting mat. It doesn't have to sit super tight. It's important that it doesn't fall off for any reason. I attach the wire to both holders and start to twist. Don't ask me how many spins I have made or how many will be needed. It was all on feel without super calculation and mathematical formulas. After winding, the line is quite flexible, so you need to burn it a little with a torch. Of course you have to be careful because meeting the flame won't be pleasant. This way the link is easier to use and can be arranged perfectly. Now the question is where to put it. I had one place where it fit, but there were already some tarps. I did what you can see. I cut the rope into small pieces and added them as if the rope was lying in the middle of the basket and partially protruding from both sides. It's pinned down by the tarp. It makes sense. I tied the second piece of rope and hung it on the fuel can rack on the rear wall. And that's all I wanted to say in this episode. So thank you for watching, my friends. I hope that someone will find my solution useful. Good luck if you use them. That's all for today. See you next time. Cheers!